I'm your host, Mike Casper, and this is your 2026 Rookie Prospect Profile of the Week. We're going to talk about my favorite guy in this draft. No bias at all whatsoever. Are you guys ready to talk some Aggies today?
Yeah, man, I'm a little bit excited about this one.
Yeah,
Little bit
NC
excited.
State pride.
I was going to say, I can't remember the last offensive Aggie to be excited about, like Mike Evans, maybe Christian Kirk.
A-Chain.
Oh, yeah, A-Chan.
Yeah.
Duh. I was all over A-Chan. I got him everywhere. Gosh, I can't believe I forgot that. All right. Yeah, A-Chan. Beast. All right. Well, we're going to start with KC Concepcion tonight. So wide receiver, Texas A&M, 21 years old, 5'11", 190 pounds. He's played 3 years in college. His last year was at A&M. He had 61 receptions, 919 yards, 9 touchdowns. Also had 10 carries for 75 yards and a touchdown. He's also a good return man, but I'm lame and did not look up his return stats. I know he had a couple touchdowns in the punt return game this year. But before that, he played for NC State. And his first year there, he had 71 receptions for 839 yards and 10 touchdowns, and he rushed for 320 yards. So very versatile, highly productive player. Known to have pretty elite yak ability with 55% of his career yards coming after the catch. He averages 6.6 yards after reception for some missed tackle rate, around 20 on almost over 21% of his touches, a 63% career catch rate. So overall, he's had over 2,000 receiving yards and 30 total touchdowns across his 3 seasons. His target share last year was 26%, so 80th percentile, but his drop rate was 9%. His breakout age was 18.9, which is 90th percentile. Like I said, did very good in his first season at NC State there. But he has spent 70% of his career in the slot. But though this last year, he played out wide about 65% of the time in 2025. So again, exceptional in the screen game, short area. Last year, he did have a quarterback, Marcel Reed. As much as I love him, he really struggled with the deep ball and the deep ball accuracy. So his downfield catching, he only caught 17 of his 48 targets last year of over 21 yards. But he's a really good player, really electric. I don't think we've seen everything we have to, or all of his potential. But I'm going to start with Austin this week to shake it up a little bit. Give us an overview of what you like about KC, because Jesse's already said some things. So maybe I need to hear some bad first before Jesse hypes him up even more than I just did.
Oh, I've got some negatives.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I don't have too many negatives. Like, he feels like the perfect early second in a rookie draft. Like, that's kind of where I would value in a standard normal rookie draft. It feels like the perfect 202, 203 pick.
So 107 in this draft.
I was about to say, my problem is in this class, I think we're going to have to use the 107 to 109 for him. And he just doesn't feel like that kind of player unless he goes to the right offense that will use him to his max potential. I mean, having the freshman breakout is huge. And I remember I was playing C2C then. He was a highly recruited high school player as well. So I do like to have that when they translate quickly. He feels like he can succeed in the right offense, but he feels like a lot of these shorter receivers that need the scheme and the targets to get what you want out of him to a ceiling. As you said, with was it 50-some% yards after catch?
Yeah.
And it feels more of like a gimmicky receiver. And that's kind of what I felt like a lot of the times watching him. And I want Jesse to go before I counter anything else.
All right, so I have my scouting report all queued up, so I have to read it.
Please do.
I'm itching now. So one thing that I feel like you guys have failed to highlight is the speed.
He's fast.
Yeah, he's fast, and he's capable of taking it to the house anytime he touches the ball from anywhere on the field. So that is very important to highlight about Concepcion. He's KC now. Wasn't he Kevin when he started out, and then he changed to KC?
I can't remember for a year. Yeah,
I know his name is Kevin, so I may call him Kevin once in a while.
Kevin,
but
R.I.P.
He definitely is best with the ball in his hands, but he's extremely versatile. So he can line up anywhere on the field. He's going to contribute in punt and kick return as well. That'll help in some of your leagues. In some of your leagues, it won't, but it will get him probably a little better draft capital. Yeah, like I said, he's best with the ball in his hands, but that can be a challenge sometimes, because the hands are not the best. Definitely has some inconsistency with the hands. He makes some amazing catches. So it's there. He can do it. It's in him. But he has just some, I don't want to call them concentration drops. Because I don't know if he's concentrating or not. They're just balls he should catch and doesn't. So that I don't love. It also highlights just some inconsistency overall in his play, especially when he was at NC State. He really put it together a lot more this year. I took your advice, Austin, and I did go back and watch some NC State film, and very, very inconsistent. Didn't really look like he knew where he was supposed to be all the time on the field. So that was concerning, but it seemed like it got cleaned up this year. Yak ability is definitely his elite trait, speed, quickness. He's not really a precise route runner.
There we go.
So,
Jesse. Nice.
In that way, a lot of his game reminds me of DJ Moore. You know, kind of an athlete, kind of a dog, isn't really where he's supposed to be all the time. Some inconsistency is in the game. If that's his ceiling, I really like him a lot.
All right, what about you, Chad? What do you like about his game, and what concerns you? Let's start talking more.
Well, one of the most concerning things are the drops, right? And Jesse touched on those, but it's the one thing that he's been consistent in his entire time in college. All 3 years he's had over 5 drops. The last 2 years he's had 7 per season. So it's not like, in the drop rate, the last 2 years are both above 10%. So it's rough. It's rough. One, I do want to touch on, like, the NC State film that you guys were mentioning that did look a little bad. I mean, I think that might be 2024 you guys are watching, because in 2023 he was pretty good.
Yeah, it was 23. I thought I liked it. That's why I told you to watch it.
Okay.
Yeah, I went back and
24.
watched 20.
He was rough in 24.
Yeah.
But it's also like the usage was weird. I think he was kind of acclimating to an extended role. And then he got back to form in 25, but 23 and 25 were really, really good years for him. What I did like this year is that he did show a little bit more flexibility in how he's deployed. Slot percentage went down from 82% in 2024 down to 30, in my notes here, 35% in 2025. So it's a massive difference for him. That's true wide receiver potential as far as, him being able to line up wide, which was 65% this past year. The other thing that really helps me kind of contemplate his role being extended and him able to look like a normal everyday wide receiver 2 in the league, because that's kind of what I project him as. His catch and traffic's been pretty good. Like he's been able to come up with balls that you don't really think he should, especially when you consider the size and also his ability to just drop random passes every so often. So it's pretty impressive. His catch and traffic success rate this past season was 66%, almost 67%, and that's up from the previous year was at 33%. So
that's the dog in him that I was talking about.
Yeah, but it was like such a massive improvement. He had like pretty much double 100%, improvement rate over year over year coming into 2025. So I really, really, really was excited to see that. You look at other measurables like his ADOT and yards per route run and everything, and they're pretty nice to see the improvements, from last year, which again was just pretty poor. So I'm excited to see what he does this year. I think this is a kind of a good launching point for him. But I'm with Austin. I think you would like to take a player like this in the second round, maybe like 111, 112 kind of range in a decent class.
Yeah, I like him in that range as well. This is the guy that the combine's next week. He should run. He definitely should. He should test. So we'll find out.
I'm not as optimistic as you guys are on his speed. I don't think he's that fast.
The reports I've seen, top end isn't that crazy. It's obviously guesstimations. We'll find out
mid
next week.
Mid 4.4s is probably where I think he's going to end up, which is fast.
Yeah,
but I think when you watch him, he's really quick. He's lightning quick, and I think that's kind of what I get from it when I see him. He's one of those guys that, kind of a cliche term, but quicker than fast. That's what I get from him.
I'm sorry. I was going to say I assumed he had easy 4.4 speed.
Yeah, I thought 4.4 too, and I was thinking not 2, but also, but I was
4.42 on the number, Mike. We're holding you to
it. I felt like when I watched him a lot, again, I don't consider myself a tape bro like you guys. That's why I host this segment, right? But his separation was good with whatever his speed and quickness and break was when I saw it. Because I feel like there were just so many times in so many games where he would get wide open, whether it was a move or just straight line speed that burned a DB. Now, again, competition comes into play there, but I don't know. Did any of you guys see any of that, or am I just a crazy fan watching stuff?
Yeah, It comes from his athleticism. So he gets open because of his quickness and his speed. It's not necessarily the technical side. Like he's not a technician with his route. So that's, yes, he gets separation, but I would say he's not the same type of player or even level of player, but it's like Travis Hunter where he would get open because he's so athletic, not really as much polish or setting up defenders. One thing I will say though, you mentioned his quarterback. He left a lot out on the field. There were a couple of times, more than a couple of times. I think it was a Notre Dame game in particular. What was the game where he had 200 yards?
Pretty sure that was the Notre Dame game, actually.
He was open deep numerous times in that game, and it wasn't blown coverage. He got open deep, and then just the quarterback couldn't get him the ball. That quarterback really did not do him any favors, especially with the deep ball this season. He definitely has some more chops. It's just they were uncatchable. I don't want to say that he's like, Henry Ruggs out there or anything, but he definitely can get open deep.
Yeah, he had 158 against South Carolina, 113, 7 catches, 113 against Auburn.
Okay.
Notre Dame was 4 for 82.
Okay.
He had a lot of misses on Notre Dame. I guess Jesse said DJ Moore. What are some other comps for you guys? Austin, Chad, is there anyone that kind of sticks out or close?
Last week I said similar to Rashid Shaheed, and
Okay.
I'm kind of going to stick with that. I think that's the kind of player that we want him to be in the NFL. I do think he's a little bit better on the short intermediate route, coming out of routes than Shaheed was, and Shaheed probably has a little bit higher top end speed.
I was going to say he's a little more straight line.
The player type is that they're similar to me.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, is there anyone that comes to your mind comparable to, or is there somewhere maybe you'd like to see him go in the draft?
I'd like to see him. I'd like to see him with Seattle. I think that'd be a good replacement for Shaheed. I think he kind of fits what they're looking for, obviously, if they brought him in.
Yeah.
And I think he is potentially leaving this offseason, right? If not,
He's a free agent. Yeah.
He's a free agent.
So, yeah, I think that'd be a good spot for him.
I was going to say the Rams, a couple picks before them, because their return game obviously cost them in the playoffs, and he's good in that area too. And Devontae Adams is old, and Puka's
value
for a season. Yeah, I think so, absolutely. But at the same time, like people are going to be excited for what Stafford could do, and the offense. I don't know I don't think it tanks it, but I could see. Don't expect much beginning of the year.
I mean, if they take him in the first, it's not going to tank it too hard because we just saw with Igbuka
29.
What happened with Igbuka in year one with the crowded rooms.
I would be floored if they took him in the first.
There's a lot of buzz about him being a first-round receiver.
Yeah, just the Rams in particular. Yeah, I wouldn't be floored if he went in the first. I kind of expect it.
I'll see how he tests. I don't feel like he should be, but this class is, you never know where people are going to go after the top 10.
I think Kuiper just said he expects 6 wide receivers to go in the top 50.
Yeah, that's what Daniel Jeremiah had 6 in the first round.
Wow.
Yeah, maybe it was Jeremiah.
Smokes.
Maybe it was Jeremiah that
Louise.
said it actually, because
Yeah.
I've been listening to him too.
And
really
Dan Brugler has 16 in the top 100, I think.
Yeah, I think he goes in the first round. I think he's probably the 5th wide receiver off the board.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
I like
receiver 5.
I like 5 in the first round.
So Chad, you like then better?
I think Boston's a top 15 pick.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And Austin, let me guess, you like Omar Cooper? I think out of the second tier wide receivers, Concepcion's my favorite at the moment.
Where would you have taken him if he were in last year's draft with where the rookies were going? Is he again early second, kind of like what you're
4.
talking about?
204,
Yeah.
205.
That's where
more of a
Golden.
mid
That's where
second.
Golden was going. Was he going after? Take him after
No,
Golden.
it'd be after Golden.
After Golden, yeah.
In that tier with Trey Harris, Burden, Besh, in that tier.
Yeah, and depending on the draft capital.
Yeah. I mean, if he goes in
Probably.
the first, then he probably jumps up
Before those
right where
guys.
Golden is. Was that 112, 2-1 kind of range?
Gotcha. Cool. Anything else we need to know about KC Concepcion, guys?
I like him more than I like Luther Burden.
That's not saying
I was
anything.
gonna say, it's not saying much.
That's actually kind of the and Austin's probably gonna kill me for this, but I got a lot of vibes, that
Yeah.
are very similar to Luther Burden.
I
with
can see
KC
that, actually.
Concepcion.
Yeah,
So
I would
they're not the
disagree
same
with you.
They're not the same size, but their games are kind of similar.
Yeah, very. I mean, they're pretty similar. They're pretty
Yeah.
similar.
I think that's really fair, which is,
Okay.
I mean, I don't have a problem with that at all, to be honest.
All right, sweet. Well, next week we are going to be reviewing Jadarian Price, finally getting back into the running back.
And that'll be the end of it for our rookie prospects. The last
Really?
running back. The last running back. Yeah.
We're not going to do Jonah Coleman or Emmett Johnson.
We'll see after next
Yeah,
week.
I'm
After
sure we
the-
will.
Yeah.
We'll
Who
get
do they
some
play
of
for?
that.
After the combine, we may have to do 1 or 2 of them.
All right, Kevin, get on the jugs machine.
All right. Well, this has been your 2020.
Ladies and gentlemen,
You cut me off. It's cut me off.
Go ahead.
I'm
man.
just kidding. This has been
Well,
your 20.
Now it's awkward.
Oh, I was gonna say it again. Thanks. Yeah.
At least we're on brand.